we sincerely and passionately feel that it's like other industry, it's an integral part of an airline and probably will become differentiator either from generating revenues or profitability or from the operations perspective. Now, these are very young people. Some of them would like to be part of an organization rather than just be an entrepreneurs or do their own startup. How do we encourage them to join airline, when there are so many other avenues available from them, and especially people who are in IT industry and, there's this still, how do we excite them and why should a young person would think, and I'm not talking about Vistara per se, I'm talking about the airline. What would you tell them?
I'm not only going to talk about airline, how does anybody attract?
Anybody attract.
So there are two things, one, I can develop a technology, but there has to be a receiver of technology.
Understood.
Right?
Yep.
So if the guy who's receiving technology is not a technology guy, he's going to have problems.
Yes.
So the industry has a problem if we have to sell to people who do not understand technology. So I think there is a compulsion for our industry, the IT industry, to ensure that they have people who are as smart on the other side. But I think there is a big change that's happening, right? As compared to technology being the super, there is a new dimension that's coming in of two more important elements of the technology to be successful. One is domain, the other is context, right? So aviation domain has a very different connotation, and the technology guys, if they do not have an understanding of the domain, you have a problem.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
The other is, there is a context, and the context may be local, maybe a country context. So if you are developing a technology for aviation industry in the US, it's actually very different from developing a similar thing because the user behavior is different, right? Their expectations are different. So how will a technology guy ever get experience in a domain and a context? So I think, are we giving in an airline, in our company, an environment where people can experiment, can grow, right? And that takes me to a very important point, that if you look at the airline industry, on one hand, you have a non-negotiable safety standard. Can you touch and meddle with it? Can you tell the pilot, don't go through your checklist? He has to. And can the engineer skip any level of checks that he does on an aircraft? He cannot, right? Because it's a must, and you don't play around with it, right? So in organizations like in the airline industry, you have something which is by the rule book, and there is something where there is freedom. How do you marry the two? You are being a CIO before and now, and the technology. There are many areas that you deal with which are relating to cybersecurity, infrastructure, which is entirely policy-driven, governance. But then when a new app comes out, you will say, I'm not going to get the best app out. Let me put the app out, and as I go, I'll keep improving it.
Iteratively, we will improve that.
How do you marry the two? It requires very different thinking, right? So you also have to become a Superman to be able to accept what we call the two-speed organization, right? One is steady state, high governance one, whereas the other one is innovative, experimentation, failure is okay, right, etc. So I think, we'll have to do it. It's not such a big problem. I would love to go back to the auto industry, ever if I get a chance, and I enjoy being on the board of Vistara because I'm learning every day.
Now, on that note, talk to our audience as a closing remark. Tell them something, what they should look forward, nothing to do with technology, look forward. They are extremely young people, look forward in life. Something you have talked about, fearlessness and, don't fear failures. But give them some wisdom, which they will remember in a simple way.
You are really fortunate that this is your moment. Right, everything that could happen, the country is looking forward to it. The government is promoting startups. There is a lot of funding available. There is mentoring available. There are lots of opportunities because we are a country which has a huge number of problems, and startups is all about solving those problems. So you have opportunities. When you have problems, you have opportunities to solve them, right? So I think that's the only suggestion I would have is keep your head on your shoulder. right? Keep focused on solving that particular problem. Also, I would say, raise your hand when you need help, ask for it. I have learned from my life that whenever I asked for help, more was coming than I thought it would, right? So I think you're really blessed and do well.
Thanks, Om. Thanks. Really, really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.